Yo, what's going on, guys? DJS here, collectivekicks.com. Wanted to bring you guys the follow-up to the design contest giveaway for my 1000th video, and I'm going to announce both winners today in this video. First of all, I have to say, if you do like this concept, please give the video a thumbs up and support the video. I know there's going to be a lot of people pissed off because they didn't win. That's my biggest fear in doing these type of videos. There was a huge backlash last time I did one of these videos as well last year, where I mean, there's two chances, or there's two winners that actually end up winning, and then there's 1,000 people that don't end up winning. So there's a lot of people that get pissed because their choices weren't selected or others were selected and they were very similar to what they had. And you know, it was really difficult to narrow these down. Again, there was 1,000 entries. A lot of entries were not done correctly, but we still counted them, which means I and my writing staff had to do 10 times the amount of legwork needed to just look at your entries because people didn't follow the instructions. Again, I still counted the entries. It just made it really difficult for us to be able to view the entries and look at the stories if there was any. So I tried to do this as fairly as possible for those that did pay attention to the rules and those that tried to pay attention. And granted, my video that I'm displaying on the screen right here might have been a little bit confusing to you guys, and I apologize for that. I actually did the video twice, and the first time I recorded it, it was 20 minutes long, giving a lot more detail. One of the first things I want to point out is you didn't have to send me a screenshot that you were subscribed to the channel unless you were one of the winners. That's my follow-up to make sure that you're subscribed for one of those people that ended up winning. So what ends up happening from this point is there was over 1,000 entries. We narrowed it down, my writing staff and myself, down to a total of 41 entries. And then I'm going to choose one of those 41. I'm going to display all those ones for you guys in just a second. And then I will choose or show you guys the top 10 between theirs and my choices. And then I'm going to actually just do a random selection for the top 10. But I wanted to show you guys the top 10 in my eyes of which ones I thought were the best of the best. Again, there was a lot of duplicates. For those duplicates, we just try to narrow down the best ones that we thoughts had maybe a little bit of a better story or whatever it might have been. But just know we try to do this as fair as possible, man. Nobody's forcing me to do this. I was getting a lot of hate already on Twitter and just random places, which is kind of ridiculous to myself because, again, I'm personally coming out of pocket for both of these winners. So it's not cheap for myself to be able to do this. And this format, I know I'm showing you guys an unedited video to show you guys this. So that way I can talk over the entries and kind of go from there. But first of all, I want to say thank you to the Collective Kicks writing staff on screen, DMV Joe, DP, PJ, Hype John, JD Elite, Smiley, bangobuck, and NJ for helping out because they helped look over 1,000 entries. They had the same problems that I had when looking over these entries. But it was a lot of fun because you had a lot of really cool designs out there. But again, just try to respect the fact that we did this as fair as possible, and it was not easy to do. I'm going to just show you guys some of the designs now. Some of these come out really bad, like as in like quality-wise on the screen, like some of these first ones, because of the screen caps that I was able to get, unfortunately. But some of them were a little bit better, so bear with them if you can. But this one is obviously Galaxy-inspired. Of the KDs, but this is the Kyrie one. I thought that one was really quite well. And these first ones that I'm showing you, these are all the top choices from my writers. And some of them that have stories on them because they did it the proper way. Some of them don't, unfortunately, and they attach it to an email. And because they attach it to an email, I didn't add it to the screen because I didn't want you guys to see the email addresses and like having to copy and paste like all these entries is just a nightmare. So unfortunately, if they did it right, it shows up like this. If they didn't, it shows up like this or in various other forms. Also, I didn't want to display your guys' names because I didn't know if there was anybody that felt uncomfortable with that. So when I choose the winners, I'll follow up on the weekly recap and let you guys know what the winners' names are and whatnot if they want to be named. But for the most part, I just want to leave it anonymous because I didn't want you guys to see the names. I don't know the inspiration for some of these ones, but they were done quite well. Some of them we did know the inspiration for, and again, I couldn't display it because they didn't follow the instructions. Steamboat versus Savage, though, this one was one where they did a split screen on it and showed, which again, it wasn't the preferred method. This was the preferred method. This one was Dexter's Laboratory. I thought this one was quite clever as well, and this was in my top. I had a top like 45 that I chose from all of the 1,000 that I looked through, and there was quite a few of these ones that the writing staff chose that I actually chose as well, so it ended up being good. And all that does is really strengthen your value in being in the top 41 or the top 10 even. So Let's go forward though. This one was kind of crazy sounding. The design, overall design, if you just look at the aesthetics of the sneaker, very, very nice design. Then you can see a bit of the story. And that's kind of what I was going for. I was going for 80% design, whether or not the design made sense or if it was attractive or just looked well together. And then you hear a bit of the story, and then it just kind of is the icing on the cake. Speaking of icing, this is like an icy design, and this is just a really clever design, like those ices, if you guys don't know, like a Slurpee with a polar bear on it. Very, very cool design on that one. This one was very clever. This is the ideal type of candidate, in my opinion. Very dope design. It says I designed the Nike Kobe 9 Low Statue of Liberty colorway. It has a mint look color to show the oxidized copper. I mean, this is just super clever. And hits of gold, which represent the copper coloring as it turned before it turned green. Also on the back of the idea, I added 1886, the year it was finished. Super cool, super awesome concept, and the fact that he was that detailed in that amount of time, followed the directions to a T. It was perfect. Another great one, just a great design. Nike LeBron Zoom Soldier 8, and he's a Derek Jeter fan. And there was a lot of sports themed shoes, and some of them I told you guys basically to try to stay away from that because a lot of people just didn't listen to the instructions. It's so sad to see. But I mean, this one he did do one that was designed for like Jeter, and it made sense, and it actually looked quite well. So one of those ones where it paid off, even though I kind of said try not to go that route. Nightmare Before Christmas. Flights, these things came out really nice as well. If you know the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, you understand that. This one is a Yo MTV Raps colorway. Now, you can see that this had the data print on it, which wasn't available at the beginning of the contest, so I know it's kind of unfair to some extent, but it was one of those risks that you have to take when you're designing a sneaker, and we don't know the release calendar of Nike ID, so it was kind of one of those things where we just had to do with it what we could. The Google LeBron 12, very clever. And then a Meta Knight LeBron 12. If you guys don't know what Meta Knight is, look it up. Google it because it's like a character, like a cartoon character, and it looks on par exactly what it is. This is a like breast cancer awareness. Kyrie, and it came out amazing. Like it looks super, super nice. And because of that, obviously it was on there. Now this person did have a story, and I believe that he had personal somebody in his life that was affected from breast cancer and whatnot. And there was a lot of those stories, man. There was a lot of stories where, like, this is dedicated to my brother who passed away, or my aunt who passed away, or my mother that passed away. It was really touching to see so many stories, but I couldn't get caught up on the story aspect. I couldn't let that overwhelm the design. I did that a little bit last time, and people were super pissed. I mean, I do take the stories and definitely consider them when I'm looking at the articles. Charlotte Hornet colorway right here, inspired. And then moving on, we have another hometown MVP for Cleveland returning home. Just a nice little clever story along with it. Always nice. And I'm going to kind of fast forward this one. I don't want to take too long. Based on the Guam flag. And then you can see his story behind it. And this is what one of the writers liked this one because of the story. Blue for the ocean, yellow for the sand, inner lining green for the palm trees, and white and for the sailboat. Very, very clean, like design on top of it being clean. We understand his story, and it was perfect. Some of these other ones we didn't have, unfortunately, the stories to it, but this is a really, really sick colorway with all black and kind of that mint look. And this one is one of those ones that are fuzzy, unfortunately, along with this one, kind of the Van Gogh sort of design. And then kind of a random Kobe design, and I don't remember the inspiration for those, unfortunately. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to choose a winner here in just a second for at least the top 41. A Raiden design. I remember this one was Raiden, like from Mortal Kombat. I thought that was super sick. Really nice design. Way to use the lightning for something that like made sense, like Raiden. There was a lot of Thor ones as well that were pretty cool, but the Raiden one stood out for me. Another kind of cool, like just simple design LeBron with the gold accents and then the blue upper. Something different than the white, black, or red that we usually see. This one was the LeBron 7 MVP colorway. Pretty clean. Another one that the writers chose. Let's get into my top choices. There was a lot of them, to be honest. There was way more than 15 or so. But I couldn't decide. This one was a Christmas-inspired one. There was a ton of Christmas-inspired ones, but this one in particular, the story was great, but the design first looked super clean, super crisp. And all in all, I really enjoyed this Christmas-inspired one. I enjoyed a lot of them, but this one was the one that I enjoyed the best. Moving on, a Nightwing. Shout out to Nightwing and Wear Testers inspired design, and I chose this one because it looked cool, but also the fact that he gave Nightwing a big shout out, and I thought that was really cool how he was able to integrate that. Like Nightwing and I are cool, and so it's nice to see like somebody entering my contest with doing a dedication to Nightwing. There was a couple of them, and also there was one to Foamer, like an Air Max one to Foamer, and I thought that was really cool. In fact, I think that this is yeah, this was it right here. So again, the design to me was just super sick. Like it was really clever the way that everything came out. The shoe looked well put together, and then on top of it, the story was cool on top of it. So that's kind of how I judged mine, like 80-20 from that. TARDIS, this is from a Doctor Who reference. I didn't know what it was, so I'm not passionate about it, but the design was super on point. I looked up TARDIS online, and I could see the telephone booth or whatever, and it was just like, it was just right on, and I really liked his story behind it as well. Simple, random, but funny, and also I like the way that he was able to use Nike ID to fulfill kind of a design, a broken TV concept with the black and white fuzzy screen. I thought that was really clever. I could see something like that being an actual release. It was just that clever. This one was another one that I thought was just super rad. An inspiration from the Nike Converse OG, and with that red line around the midsole, just super rad how they designed this pair. And definitely was one of the top designs. This one, again, the story, the design was cool. It looked like a Sprite colorway, but when you look at the story, it says he has food allergies. And the fact, this one got me to the point where I actually added this in because he said, every party I go to, I can't eat the delicious foods. The fact that he said, I can't eat the delicious foods was so funny to me because it's he knows like that they're delicious, but he can't have anything with dairy, eggs, beef, or nuts. I thought that was hilarious to me. I don't know why. I just thought it was so funny. But the design was cool, and because of that story, I was like, dude, this is cool. This guy deserves to be in the top handful of whatever it was. Narrowing it down, there was I can't. Oh, this one was the Mickey Mouse inspired one. That's what it was, and I was like, this is cool, like Mickey Mouse. And then this one was another one that I thought was cool. They're gonna be having a baby, and the design was either blue or pink, depending if they're gonna have a boy or a girl. It was the only submission where they submitted two designs, and I accepted it because like this totally made sense. Like obviously, I thought it was a really clever concept. So shout out to the person that designed this, and congratulations to them. The top 10 though, so that is the top numbers. I'm going to show you a couple from the top 10, and then choose. Then I'll choose one of 41, and then I'll choose one of the top 10. So let's get into the top 10 though. This one is one for sure for me. It was the Star Wars Boba Fett design. Really just a clever design, and it came out well in my opinion. They're just easily able to be in the top 10 because of that. I thought it was just a really cool, clever design. I haven't seen too many of those ones. Another one that I thought was just done extremely well was a Nintendo NES system. And actually, I've been searching on eBay for a Nike, I think the Air Max. There was an Air Max or something like that, Nintendo design back in the day, a couple years ago, a handful of years ago that I've been looking for like on eBay. But this one was awesome. I was like, dude, perfect design for what it was. I thought it was done really well. Moving on, a person from Greece, and I did say that this could be international, so I don't mind. I'll ship to wherever. But I liked it, and it was a Cartman dunk, and obviously, if you know South Park, you know Cartman, and I could just totally recognize, and I thought that was just awesome. This is one of those ones that I was like, man, they didn't follow the format, but this one was sick. This is the Walking Dead design, and when they said Walking Dead, I was like, how is this gonna look? But the hits of the blood, and it's kind of a dark and dreary kind of design. I just thought it was just super clever. And when you don't have a design for The Walking Dead, there's nothing visual for it. Then they made this. I was like, dude, this looks like something that could be The Walking Dead. Because of that, I was like, I put this one on the top 10 for sure. Just so rad. Another one that was a top 10, the Caterpillar NASCAR Kyrie 1. If you haven't seen the Caterpillar NASCAR, he actually linked it in his description of here, and I mean it was spot on. It looks exactly like the car. Just a great like design, and because of that, this one was in the top 10. Another one that was in the top 10, again, story. The design was super solid, but the story helped fill it in the gaps, and the fact that he had so much information. Vesuvius erupting over 30 times in 17 AD, and like you said, these kicks are hot as blah blah blah. But like, I like the fact that the volcano, it kind of looks like volcano for the posit material. You have that red, yellow, that dark color for like the lava, the reddish. I mean, it was really nice design, and because of that, top 10 for me. Another one that there was a ton of galaxy inspired stuff, but this one was the one that stuck out for me because everybody's a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. When I look at this design, the way that it was put together, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. The maroon hits to me, the sky, the gold accents, the black. Followed with the speckles on the midsole. Super clever, well done, and because of it, it was in my top 10. Another one in the top 10, based on Paul Walker's Toyota Supra from Fast and the Furious. Very cool design. The fact that it was Paul Walker's like Supra is one thing, and RIP Paul Walker, but I really thought it was done well. If you remember the first Fast and the Furious, it was just a rad car. And then the other two for the top 10, I took one of the ones, the Statue of Liberty, and then also this one's purely off of the design. I put this one in the top 10. So what I'm going to do now, so up to this point right here, this one, and you can see, so just to give you guys an idea, when I highlight all of them and unhighlight these ones, you can see right down here it says 41 of 6 minutes and 9 seconds. That means there's 41 designs that we have that are not duplicates. These other two down here are duplicates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to random generator, and I'm going to go 1 and 41, and this is going to be, drumroll please, like Homer Simpson, I wish I had his little monkey, says generated number 12. So in order, random generated number 12. So let's see here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So Google won the random, won the random design. Let me double check that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. So Google is the winner for the random selection of the finalists. And congratulations to them. I will find out who this person is. I do have their email. I will email them back and let them know that they actually ended up winning. Out of 1,000 entries, they won the top design. So congratulations to them. And then I'm going to do the top 10. Now for the second one, it's going to be the top 10 from here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, and then 10. So I'm going to go ahead and do the random number generator again, and we're going to do 10, and I'm going to generate. Number 4 is the winner. Let's see who it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walking Dead ends up winning. So the reason why I did it randomly instead of choosing my favorite out of the top 10 is, to be honest, I couldn't narrow it down. It was really tough between these 10 to choose the number 1 spot. Literally every single one of these top 10 designs, I said at one point or the other, this one should be the winner. And the Walking Dead design is the number 1 design. So what I'll end up doing is, so we have the Walking Dead, and then we have the Google, which means I have to pay $500 for these things because they're the Nike ID Lebrons, and they're not the cheaper ones. They are the Lebrons, but the designs reign supreme, and because of that, they ended up winning. Man, give the video a thumbs up if you can. Again, this is $500 out of my pocket, but what I'll end up doing is contacting the winners, having the designs created or recreated, and then submitted to Nike ID. I will pay for them. They'll be shipped to me. I'll review them once I get them, so you guys can see them in hand, what they design and how it transposes to the actual shoe. Then I will ship it to the winners wherever they are in the world. Again, thank you guys for sticking with me for this last couple years. 1,000 videos in, just hit 90,000 subscribers. I want to continue this trend, so please don't be too negative in the comment section. It discourages me when people are like, oh, they shouldn't have won, this shouldn't have been a finalist, my design was better. Just try to have respect for the fact that we try to do this the best way possible, and it took a lot of time. And again, big thank you to the writers for helping me narrow down these selections, because without them, it would have been extremely difficult for me to narrow these down even more. Plus, we could see more insight from them, but they also did this during their holiday time, and I can't thank them enough. So thank you guys. Thank everybody for participating, and if things go well, we can expect another one of these contests maybe next year for the holiday. Hopefully you guys don't hate me for not winning, but I appreciate you guys nonetheless, and happy holidays. We'll catch you guys for another video soon. Peace, guys.